Hello and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV. Today is officially our first day that we can rank up our custom delivery client to our final stage with Nitowikwe in Shaloni. And as you can see here, we have achieved Savior of the Railing, which is our new referred to title. Unfortunately, we don't get that as the actual title from the achievement, but we do get a title from the achievement. In addition, we also unlock 2 new plus quests that we'll look at in just a second, and of course we can do more custom deliveries with Nitowikwe that are randomized. But the title, as you can see, is Track Layer. So I would be Track Layer Meoni in this particular instance, and you'd be Track Layer Bob, for example. So it's an okay title. The first of the quests then is Weight of a Train. We're not going to show any of this because I don't want to spoil storyline, but essentially Weight of a Train, once unlocked and completed, a little bit of a short excursion to the nearby town, gives you some EXP and some gil, but also awards you the ability to now customize what Nitowikwe, i.e. the NPC before us that's been involved in the storyline, can wear. You can simply do this by interacting with them and choosing Cast Glamour on Nitowikwe. This will load in the familiar screen that you might remember if you've done any of these custom delivery clients before that have customization. And on the left side, there is a section of slots, such as helm slots, body slot, hand slot, leg slot, and feet slot. Obviously, this being a female Hrothgar, you're going to be prone to the problem of not having many items that will be able to work. And unfortunately, I didn't prepare for this, so I don't have a lot of different options. There are some exceptions that do work for Viera and Hrothgar in the game, but there's not enough, it has to be said, and most of what I had randomly in my inventory does not work. But of course, you can apply all of the other pieces, such as the bridesmaid stuff. Oh, I think we'll put the Anemos jacket on there, maybe Claws of the Beast or something, or those will do. And yeah, basically, this is how the character will look every time you go visit them in Shaloni. So if you wanted to, you could dress them up in swimsuits or whatever you want to your heart's desire. And it's client side, so only you would see your changes. Everybody else would see their own. In addition, inside the actual saloon nearby is obviously Wowlika, which gives you the other of the plus quests. His Heart Blazes On, again, only obtainable once we've ranked up that final time with satisfaction guaranteed. If you go and do that quest, which I'm not going to spoil for you, it's quite an interesting one, it will give you the Dawnblazer Attire coffer. This is obviously bound to you and will give you a 5-piece glamour set. Before we go and look at this on our character, it's worth noting that I wanted to just quickly check if Nitowikwe would be able to wear this outfit, and of course, yes, they absolutely can, and we're dressing them up nice and dander there. But of course, the big elephant in the room is, can they wear the head? No, they can't. And it makes me very sad to announce that neither Viera or Hrothgar can use the headpiece that's a reward from a quest line associated with custom deliveries related to Hrothgar main characters. So think of what you will of that. So in the Grand Cosmos then, we're in the Explorer mode, so it's the perfect lighting, perfect weather. We're looking at this outfit. It's a 5-piece set, so we've got hands, we've got a helm, we've got this very big chest piece, we've got boots, and we've got chaps as well. It's basically... My first impressions for this were it looks very much like a machinist artifact set, and you'd be forgiven for thinking it was, honestly. It's definitely sort of mailing that in because it's got those 2 revolvers strapped in, you know. At the front there, we've got lots of different ammunition across the belt there with the buckle. It looks very Wild West, and that's obviously what they're going for, being that this is from Shaloni. I believe that this helm is supposed to be a Ronique head, although quite honestly I'm not sure if that's the case. It's clearly not a real Ronique head. It's not my cup of tea, personally. I dislike this helm quite a bit. You might like it. It's got some horns built in there. There's a nice leather texture, and honestly the textures are quite nice across the board with this set, especially with the hat. Obviously we've got a brass inlay there as well. It's not badly designed, I just don't like it. It's not my cup of tea, and probably some of you will be like, that looks amazing, Meoni, what are you on about? And that's absolutely fine. That's exactly what this is for. One of the big problems I have with this set, though, is the shoulders. You might notice something a little bit with the snout of presumably what would be a Ronique or an animal. It's very weirdly deformed, and it doesn't seem to matter what change pose you set this to, and you'll see later in the video we also look at other races in just a second, but it's got a wonky nose, regardless of if your arm is straight or not. And the bigger your character is, the bigger the framed character, such as a male, Hrothgar or male Rogadin, for example, it gets even more deformed. So, yeah, look at the on the left side there. It's like twisted, very strange. The actual details on the rest of the chest piece, though, are lovely, like the texture details. They've done a great job with the belt buckles there. The revolvers are quite nice and shiny. And obviously their holsters as well. Really nice, I personally like. And then all the way down to the, obviously the chaps as well, which is the sort of thing you would expect to wear if you were going to ride a horse, or in, I guess, this case, a Ronique. The gloves are really nice. Look at those with the sort of emblazoned Ronique skull made of sort of like a silver material, or like that brass inlay design. Quite nice, actually. Unfortunately, the boots are just generic boots. They're the bit that are probably the most disappointing to me. But there we go. So one of the things that we normally do as well is separate the pieces. I think the big piece to take off here is definitely the chest piece. It is the most dominating section of this outfit. So let's actually look at how things look like, especially for the legs. These chaps then, they kind of get overshadowed by that chest piece. I didn't even realize until I took that chest piece off that we had those flared tassels on the back of the chaps. So that's something I didn't even know about. There's also a separate belt buckle. Yeah, they're quite nice, actually. I think, if anything, this would be the bit that I would probably use the most of. So let's look at different races then. Of course, the big elephant in the room is Viera and Hrothgar. This is a Viera. We use the new Fantasia system they introduced in this expansion, where we have a set time limit to change as much as we want, basically, before we use the Fantasia entirely, which has made it so that I can basically show off anything I want. So this is my character, Fantasia to a female Viera. And yeah, so no helm. As much as I dislike the helm personally from my own tastes, it would have been nice if it just let the ears poke out or something. I don't know. I don't know what logistically is, the reason for that. But yeah. No Viera helm. Very sad, very sad. And obviously Hrothgar, here's another Fantasia'd character. Yeah, you'll also notice something else, what I mentioned earlier with the bigger the character is, the more noticeable the deformation is on the actual shoulder piece there. It doesn't matter what change pose we use, there's still some deformation, but as you can see, it's so much more noticeable the bigger framed your character is. I think you'll agree. And even with that side, which has a more straight arm currently, yeah, it's just a real shame that they can't just, I don't know, put it on their head. I don't understand why Hrothgar specifically can't use the helm. I don't get it. Now we've got a Wildwood Elezen here, just to give you an idea of what it looks like. We decided to do one of each race, as we usually do. Obviously not every single gender, that would take me forever, but yeah, even on the Elezen, look at the snout of that Ronique on the shoulder. Lalafell, looking quite cute actually, as a cute little cowgirl, is less noticeable, right? You could still notice the Ronique deformation on the shoulders, but because the character is smaller and the details are smaller, you're not going to necessarily notice as much. And I think Lalafell might probably have gotten the best option out of all of the races here, just simply because everything looks better from a distance, and obviously it's smaller, so things scale a little bit better. But yeah, overall quite disappointed with how those shoulder plates actually deform. And then of course, let's move on. We've got a higher here, just generic sort of thing. This, I've made sure that I did change pose until she was very straight backed. So just if people were like, oh, you're just using change pose and it's deforming because of where your arms are, this is as straight as this character's arms can get. and it is noticeably deformed. Like, I'm not insane here, right? You can see how crooked that helm is. So I think there's probably some texture issues or something that they probably need to look at. It's probably a bug. I've no idea. It could just be me. I'd also included a aura here to give you a demonstration of how the horns work. The horns work perfectly fine with a hat, which brings up the other question of, if they can do horns with hats, why are Hrothgar not able to wear the hat at the very least? Like, I can understand if they don't want to poke Viera ears through, although it seems like something that would be quite simple from somebody who knows nothing about this. I know absolutely nothing about it. But if you can get horns to sit perfectly fine with this, I don't know. It's strange. It's not like it's needing to be a head replacer or something. I don't know. There's probably 1,000,001 reasons that I don't understand. And I should probably respect that until we get some information in the future. Hopefully they can work this out. But it does suck when new races, or they're not even new now, new pieces of gear are added, and Viera and Hrothgar are quite old. And then just a final example, obviously we've got this Rogadin, this massive frame with probably the fiercest example of the deformation of those shoulders. Holy moly, look how crooked that is. But yeah, you're probably going to not be able to unsee that now, and I do apologize. Let's move on then to dyes. Okay, when it comes to the dyes then, as you can see, there are some significant problems with this outfit. It does look good in a variety of different colors, don't get me wrong, like both of the palettes are okay, but you'll notice that there's a problem with the sleeves there, the lower sleeves of the arm on the forearm, and of course that main chest area as well, the undershirt, which kind of stick out like a sore thumb, especially when you notice that the inner side of the chaps do actually change color, but the undershirt doesn't of the actual chest piece. It's kind of annoying. The more I've looked at this, the more I've played with this, obviously going through a variety of dyes here, saving the the camera angle in G pose and reloading it after changing the dye, with my girlfriend here representing the rear view of that. Thank you, Fran, for helping with these videos as always. You'll notice that it's kind of annoying. It's an annoying patch of sort of beigey gray that I wish we could change the color of. So not the most ideal double dye channels. It's okay, and I'm sure it's redeemed individually per piece, but not my cup of tea personally. I would have hoped to have seen that middle section dye probably the same color as what we have with the chaps there. It would have matched better. So I decided to come up with a couple of glamours, nothing too crazy. My favorite part of this, I decided to put together like a bit of a superhero kind of costume here with those chaps. They're quite cool, as you can see. They've got a lot of use outside of the Wild West theme, which is obviously what we're looking for with that diversity. But yeah, overall, this outfit, not my favorite that they've added to the game. I would probably give it a 6 out of 10 for my own personal taste, mostly because of the deformation of the shoulders. There's obviously some texture issues that hopefully are a bug and hopefully get fixed in the future. It's certainly an aesthetic that suits Shaloni, which is why it gets much higher points than it would if it was just, anything else. So it does fit a Wild West theme. I just think that maybe there could have been something a little bit more enticing than this, especially from the custom delivery client. But at the same time, I'm just grateful that we actually got a reward, because we didn't always have this way. Anyway, let me know what you think about this outfit, if you're going to be rushing out there to, get your rank ups and put this in your glamour dress, or have you got some ideas of how you would use this? Please leave me some suggestions below. What outfits would you make with this, and which parts would you use the most, if any, out of all of this? Much love. Thank you so much for watching. More videos on the way, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.